as long as we are not free from those afflictive emotions. Such as anger, craving, ignorance, and so forth. No matter what the external conditions are. Be unhappy, dissatisfied. You always find something to be disturbed, complain, problematic. On the other hand, when we are able to free ourselves from those disturbing negative emotions, then the problem doesn't become problem anymore. The obstacle doesn't become obstacle anymore. Anyone can find sense of peace, joy, and satisfaction, regardless of what the external conditions are. That being the case, if we really want to be truly happy and joyful, then we have to reduce and destroy those disturbing negative emotions. To do that, we need to generate the antidote that can destroy those negative emotions, such as true love, compassion, bodhicitta mind, wisdom realizing emptiness, renunciation, and so forth. And to develop those inner qualities, we need to contemplate, meditate. For that, we need to be reminded of those practices. For that reason, I'm going to listen. And my act of coming here, listening, and engage in discussions, reflection, so forth, may all of this become cause and condition to achieve highest potential, fully awakened state. So I can be greatest help, benefit to all sentient beings. Okay, so then, prayer.
Please read the prayers for us. Michelle.
Okay. Praise to Buddha Shakyamuni, to the founder, The endowed unspent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four destroyer, completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect knowledge in a good conduct, sustainable knowledge, the supreme guide of meditation between teachers of the Savior. To you, the completely fully awakened one, they shall say that this world, the glorious Savior, the success of the Savior. My said many offerings go for it. To the founder, the income translator is the one founding, the fourth son, the completely perfect, yet fully awakened, perfect in knowledge and good conduct. So God is not supreme God to human beings retain, teacher of human beings. To you, the completely fully awakened one, the endowed translator is the glorious symbol, the Savior from the second king, I prostrate the offerings to the founder, the immortal scissors, the one born being, the four distributed, the completely perfected, fully awakened, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, so God is not of the supreme God of human beings, retain, teacher of God's human beings, to you, the complete and fully awakened one, the intelligence and the wisdom, the glorious Son, the Savior from the Savior, who said with his go for it. Tokudan. Sahibi Gyo Meto Ja Ade Ade Shi Yin De Yin Pa Di Sam Gen Shin Go Min Sen Go Wan Rei Nu Nam Tam Shin Chu Ba Shu E Nam Bu I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the means I create the seasonal time, me become a Buddha in order to fulfill. Sangye Perdana Bhakti Tom, Pado Dani, Yapurute, Nagi Perdana Gipin Sangharni, Loba Venture Sangye, Sangye, Gito, Loba Loba, Gito, Gipin Sangye, Loba Venture Sangye. Did you report? John, did you report it?
Turn the recording on, yeah. I don't know what's happening now.
Yeah, it's a recording. But what happened to this silence?
Right. Why it's doing that? Something, yes. I think I did.
Okay. So we have been going
I can see the record.
this is important.
Okay.
So in we have been discussing the three principal aspects of the path, and within that we talk about the first and then we are in the second, which is the bodhicitta mind, and within that bodhicitta we discuss about why we need to cultivate the bodhicitta mind. Then we are in section where how to cultivate the bodhicitta mind, and there are two different meditation techniques, and we have been discussing one particular meditation technique, 7-point of cause and effect. And within that, we discussed the first two. We discussed about equanimity, cultivating equanimity as the foundations of the bodhicitta mind. First cultivating equanimity mind. And then once you have that equanimity mind, even equanimity mind, then we try to contemplate, meditate on how every sentient being has been our mothers, and not only mother, many times. So recognizing all sentient beings as your mother. And the second point of that meditation, remembering and recollecting kindness of the mothers. So we talk about that. Third point in this meditation is once you have recollected the kindness of the mothers, and when you really feel the kindness of the mother, as you recollect, as you contemplate each of the kindness act of the mothers, as we discussed last time, and when you feel the kindness of the all mother sentient beings, then you feel sense of very dear, very close, and then cultivating the mind to repair the kindness, and the mind to repair the kindness. When you can feel the kindness, it will come quite easily. If you don't feel the kindness for others, it is hard to have the mind of wanting to repay the kindness. But if you can feel the kindness of others, then it is more easy to develop that, the third one. So how to repair the kindness? And of course, there are so many different ways that we can repay the kindness, of mother sentient beings. So whenever the mother sentient beings need help, and whenever you have the opportunity and whenever you have the ability to do that, then you try to help them, whatever help they need, so that is, especially when they need, when they need most, and that is when they are not feeling well, when they are unable to take care of themselves, they rely on others, and when they get older. That is what. Just like that mothers has been parent, especially mothers, has been for you when you need most, when you are unable to take care of yourself, when you are very young, when you depend on others, because you cannot look after yourself because you couldn't take care of. They were there for that at that time, always. Same way, when they get sick, and especially when they get sick and when they get older, and when they are unable to take care of themselves, or when they have difficulty of taking care of themselves, when they had to rely on others' help, others' support, then that is where, we can try to repay the kindness by being for them, by being for them, by supporting them, especially when they need most, So, those are, even karmically, it makes sense, when we were young, when we couldn't take care of ourselves, they look after us. And now when they get old and when they cannot take care of themselves, when they have to rely on others, then for you to be for them, that is the way to repay the kindness. And of course, from Buddhist point of view, those repaying kindness are just ordinary repaying kindness. And the best way to repay the kindness is to help them to, free themselves from all their afflictive emotions. Because those afflictive emotions are the very root of all their problems. And if we can help them to be free from those afflictive emotions, then we are able to help them to free from all the suffering permanently. All other help we can do are just temporary. I'm able to help to support one way, but I am unable to support the other problems. Even when you have the wish to help them, even when we want to be able to, help to solve all their problems. But at the moment, so the best way to repay kindness is to help them to free from their afflictive emotion, their delusions. If we are able to help them to do that, then they will find true happiness, true inner peace, and that is the best way to repay the kindness. But to be able to help them to free themselves from all the afflictive emotions, all the delusions, as well as the contaminated karma, and help them to free from the samsara completely, permanently. To be able to help them to do that, then you yourself need to achieve your highest potential, fully awakened state. If we don't achieve fully awakened state, again, it's very hard to be able to help them. First, when you yourself is under the delusions, how are we able to help them to overcome the delusions? When you yourself doesn't know how to free from the anger yourself, how are you going to help them to free from anger? When you yourself is under the influence of ignorance and attachments, how are you going to be able to help someone to be free from attachment and ignorance? So to be able to help them to first, you yourself need to be free from all this. You yourself need to be free from those contaminated karma and afflictive emotions, delusions. And then you can help them with only your direct experience. with that experience how to do that, And not only that, not only you need to be free from all of that, then you need to, of course, have the compassion, to help. If you don't have compassion, then again, we don't help. If we don't have compassion for others, then even we have the ability to help them, so we don't help them, And not only that, we need the compassion, but also we need the skillful means, the wisdom and skillful means, If you don't have the wisdom and skillful means, even if you have the best, even if you have the best intentions, and even you really want to help, but sometimes it doesn't respond well, because the way we communicate, the way we explain, the way we interact, doesn't suit them, and they are unable to get it. Instead, sometimes they misunderstand it. And so there you need to have that wisdom and skillful means to be able to do that. And therefore, to be able to help them with the most skillful way, with the wisdom, then you need to achieve fully enlightened state. So then that is, so then you even have a stronger wish to achieve enlightened state, because you really want to repair the kindness in the best way. And to be able to repair the kindness in the best way, that you need to achieve fully enlightenment. So making a strong determinations or strong resolutions, that I'm going to support and help them in whatever way I can at the moment, But I want to help them. I want to really help them. I really want to repay the kindness by helping them to overcome their own delusions completely. And so you make strong and to help them to achieve not just temporary pleasure, comfort, and happiness, but true everlasting happiness. So we make strong determination, resolution. That's how we are going to repay the kindness. And that's the best way to repay the kindness. And for that, I need to achieve enlightenment. For that, I need to really engage in the practice to transform myself, transform my mind, to improve myself, to become more awakened, more enlightened, so I can repay the kindness better. So that is the repaying the kindness. Yeah. At the moment, we try to help and support in whatever we can, but always having that wish, that thought, that I want to repay the kindness, not only through whatever I'm, now being for them and helping them whenever they need, whenever I'm able. But not only that, to really help them repay the kindness, to support, help them, to free them from all suffering permanently, and to achieve them true everlasting happiness, ultimate happiness. And so one should develop that strong wish to repay kindness in that way, to repay the kindness in that way. And we can only be able to repay the kindness in that way only if we become more enlightened, more awakened. And therefore, we have to really work with ourselves with practice meditation so we can become more and more enlightened. The more and more enlightened you become, the more and more awakened you become, the more and more better way we can repay the kindness. The more and more better way you find an ability to repay the kindness. If you are not enlightened, the less enlightened, less awakened you are, the less you are able to repay the kindness. So that is the third point, repaying the kindness. And the fourth point of meditation is meditation on loving kindness. Meditation on loving kindness. And then meditation on loving kindness, as I mentioned, the mind of loving kindness here in Buddhism, the love here we are talking about is not same as the ordinary love. Ordinary love is attachments, and ordinary love, attachment is something we need to, eliminate and get rid of. That kind of love, the attachments only bring more suffering to oneself and others. Whereas true love, this true love is, cause of happiness for oneself and others. And the true love is about others' happiness. Attachment is about our own happiness, and it's very different. Attachment is, something what that can give me, that object. And true love is, how can I make them happy? How can I help them to be more happy? How can I help them to have happiness and cause of happiness? So it's the state of mind that wish other to have happiness and cause of happiness. And without any expectations, without any conditions, So that kind of love and compassion is unconditional. Unconditional. Attachment is very much conditional. As long as someone make you happy, as long as someone do something good for you, as long as someone is nice to you, then your love is there, that attachment. The moment they don't give you any satisfaction, the moment they don't make you happy, the moment they don't give you happiness, the moment they don't agree with you, they don't listen to you, they don't follow you, then that kind of ordinary love is gone, your attachment is gone. It's very conditional. It's very conditional, very, it's more to do with yourself. But this true love that here we talk about, the true love is unconditional, unconditional. It doesn't depend on how they respond to you, whether they are smiling or whether they are, praising you or criticizing you, whether they are nice to you, whether they are not nice to you, whether they are, you wish them to be happy and cause of happiness because they want to be happy. They wish to be happy and they have right to be happy. So on the basis of that, I'm wishing them happiness and cause of happiness. That mind is that loving kindness without conditions, without conditions. So again, in the meditations, just like other meditations, you start with a more easy one. So again, in our life, there are so many people in our life, and there might be someone who's most close to you, where you can feel compassion, loving kindness easily. You don't have to put so much effort because of you feel so close to them. You feel so close, dear, precious, kind And because of that, you can feel kindness, love and kindness, loving kindness easily. So you start with that, and then wishing them all the happiness, cause of happiness, especially the ultimate happiness and cause of ultimate happiness, so that, and then next you visualize, imagine someone who is more like strangers, neutral persons. And you also think that person is just like myself and the person who is very close to me. That person also want to be happy. Also, that person also doesn't want suffering. That person also want to be happy. And that person also have right to be happy. On the basis of that, then again, we wish them the happiness and cause of happiness. And not only temporary happiness and cause of happiness, but ultimate, wishing them also ultimate happiness and cause of ultimate happiness. And then you extend to someone whom you have conflict or someone you dislike, your enemy. Again, think that persons that you have conflict at the moment, that person you dislike very much at the moment, for whatever reasons. Even that person is no different from me, and he is no different from someone who's very dear to me, my loved ones. That person also want to be happy, and he's trying to be happy. That's all he is. He want to be happy, and he's trying to be happy. And he, not only that, he has right to be happy, just like all of us. He has also right to be happy. On the basis of that understanding that he has the wish to be happy and right to be happy, then again we wish him happiness and cause of happiness. And not only temporary happiness, but also wish them ultimate happiness and cause of happiness. So, and then we expand to all sentient beings in our meditation. Then you expand all sentient beings, all sentient beings, each and every sentient beings, regardless of what relationship we have, whether we have a good relationship, whether we have bad relationship, whether we don't have any particular relationship, regardless of all that, everyone want to be happy. Everyone want to be happy. Everyone is trying to be happy. Everyone is trying to find a happiness, and they all have the right to be happy. And with that, then again, you wish them, happiness and cause of happiness, and not only temporary happiness and cause of happiness, but you wish them ultimate happiness and cause of happiness. So that is meditation on loving kindness. Feeling the wish them to have happiness and cause of happiness. So that is the meditation on loving kindness. And again, especially people whom we dislike, we really wish them happy and cause happiness. Because if they are happy, they make less trouble to the world. It's true. When they are unhappy, then they create more trouble to the world. So we really wish them happy and cause of happiness, because if they can really find inner peace and happiness, then they wouldn't create so much problems to others. They wouldn't create so much trouble to others. And we see we see around world, when do people create trouble and harm and suffering to others? When they are unhappy, when they are disturbed. Not only others, we are the same. We are not different. When you are just happy, peaceful, calm, even someone is a little bit nasty, you can just let it go. Even someone is not so nice, you can just let it go without taking it too personal, without being too. But when you are not happy and your mind is agitated or disturbed, then even small things make you trigger you, make you upset, make your mind disturbed. And when your mind is disturbed and upset, then you respond, you react. That bring more harm and hurtful actions to others. And so that is the case. So with that, also with that understanding, we even need to wish from sincerely from our depth those people to be able to find happiness, wishing them happiness, cause of happiness, instead of wishing them suffering and cause of suffering. Because if they are suffering, they are going to create more problems. They are going to be more aggressive. And that is same, not only human, even animal, that's what it is. When they are disturbed, when they are unhappy, when they are in pain, then that is when they become more aggressive, more violent. When they are calm, peaceful, they are not so violent, aggressive. And so again, really wishing them to be happy and cause of happiness is not only that, for also to the people or sentient beings that live around them and the world, And so that is the meditation on loving kindness. Second is meditation, the fifth one. So that is the fourth point. And the fifth point is meditation on compassion. And compassion is the state of mind that wish the other persons to be free from suffering and cause of suffering, wishing them to be free from suffering and cause of suffering. Again, same, the meditation same. We start with someone that was more easy to feel compassion, So someone who is very dear, very close, most dear, most close in our life. You imagine, you think, and then, think of their pain, their sufferings in their life. As you think, as you reflect on their pain and suffering, you really feel, that you can do something. You really feel that, for them to be free from whatever problem, whatever suffering, and the cause of suffering, that it really from because it feels like your own problem, your own sufferings, and you don't want them to go through that suffering and the cause of that suffering. You don't really want them, you feel that is kind of unbearable. And so, you wish them to be free from the suffering, cause of suffering in your mind, really wanting them to be free from suffering, cause of suffering. And once you have done, then again, the same thing like loving kindness. Then next, you visualize someone who is more neutral, who doesn't have good relationship, no bad relationship with you. Someone who you don't feel very close, no, you feel very strong dislike. Again, you just think even that person is no different from the person who is more close to me and myself. That person also doesn't want suffering. They don't want suffering. Even they don't want suffering, they are suffering, just like us. Again, try to reflect, contemplate on suffering of that being, and then again, once you reflect, contemplate on that suffering, and try to feel the suffering of that person, and try to feel that suffering as your own sufferings, and then, you not only, you and your dear ones have the right to be free from suffering. They don't want suffering and the right to be free from the suffering. Also, this person does not want suffering and cause of suffering. Also, they have right to be free from suffering and cause of suffering. And then you wish them to be free from suffering and cause of suffering permanently, completely. All the suffering, free from all the suffering, not just one suffering, but all the suffering and cause of all the suffering completely, to be free from that. And next, you expand that to someone you have most difficult relationship, at the moment, from whom you dislike most, you have most conflict, difficulties, personally, or maybe sometimes not personally, general, such as leaders, and then, again, we think that person do not want suffering. Even that person do not want suffering, but that person is suffering. That person is suffering a lot. And just as others, that person, also have right to not to suffer. That person doesn't want to be suffering, doesn't want to suffer, and that person also have right to not to suffer. On the basis of that, then again you try to contemplate on their pain, suffering, try to feel it, and then from your depth of your heart, wish them to be free from suffering and cause of suffering. Really from your depth of heart, really wishing them to be free from all their suffering, all the suffering and cause of all the suffering. And then you extend to all sentient beings. Then you extend to all sentient beings. Then wishing all sentient beings. Again, same way. None of them want to be suffer. No one want to suffer. No sentient beings want to suffer. But again, they are suffering. And they have the right to be free from suffering. And then with that, contemplate, reflect the suffering of individuals, all sentient beings. Try to feel their pain and suffering, and wish them to be free from all the suffering and cause of suffering. So that is the meditation on compassions. So loving kindness, compassion. So loving kindness is the fourth, and then compassion the fifth on top of the meditations. And the sixth one is what we call special attitude, or sometimes it is translated universal responsibility. So not only wishing others be free from the suffering and cause of suffering, and not only wishing them to have happiness, cause of happiness, but taking the responsibility on oneself to do that. And that is special attitude, taking the responsibility on yourself. Sometimes we can have these strong compassions that wanting that person to be, free from their problem and sufferings. But we might not take the responsibility to do that, to free the other from the suffering, cause of suffering. Sometimes even, how we have good thoughts of wishing that person to have happiness and cause our happiness, but not necessarily we might take the responsibility ourselves. So with this special attitude, now you take the responsible, that I'm going to take the responsible myself to free them from all the suffering and cause of suffering, and to lead them to the happiness and cause of happiness. So that is what we call the special attitude, cultivating that mind and taking that responsibility, on oneself to do that. And so once you take that responsibility, in your heart, in your mind, dedicating yourself, giving up yourself to to really taking the responsibility to free all sentient beings from all their suffering and cause of suffering, and to lead them to happiness and cause of happiness. That kind of attitude, that kind of competence, that kind of courageous, cultivating that kind of incredible courageous attitude of that special intention. And will you take the responsibility to that, so that is the sixth one. That is the sixth. So those are the six causes. You meditate on one point, And when you have good meditation on that, when you have a certain awareness or realization in that, and that they give rise, that help to have the second point of meditation become more strong, effective, and how each of those points lead to the next meditation and next point and next realizations. Mhm. So now with that, with the special attitude, you have really from depth of your heart, sincerely, not just saying from the words, mouth, but from your heart, sincerely, you have taken this incredible responsibility, incredible universal responsibility, and with this kind of special attitude to really free all sentient beings from all the causes of suffering and lead them to happiness and ultimate happiness cause by yourself, even though you have taken that, but at the moment, even though you have this incredible attitude, but in reality, with these present situations of your situations, are unable to do it. You are unable to do it because you are unenlightened. It's just like a child being carried away by the river, and let's say a mother who is handicapped, she would like to have just jump in and save the child. There's no doubt in that wish to protect the child, but she doesn't have the ability to do that. The wish is there, the love, true love is there, the compassion is there, that kind of special attitude, really wanting to take responsibility to save that your child is there, but because of her own physical conditions, she's unable to do it. That is how it is. Even though you might have all this incredible, wonderful attitude of such responsible, but because you are unenlightened, when you are unenlightened, how much you can help is very limited. How much you can do for others is very limited. And so when you try to think, how can I be able to help them best way to free them from all suffering, cause of harm, lead to the ultimate happiness? To do that, then you see the arhat definitely are able to help sentient beings more than ourselves because they don't have the delusions. They are free from the delusions. And they have more wisdom, definitely. They have incredible meditative concentrations and moral discipline, all of that, and many other qualities. So they are able to help benefit sentient beings more than ourselves. Why they are able to help more? Because they are more enlightened than us. The more enlightened you are, the more you are able to help. And then bodhisattvas, even bodhisattvas are able to help more than ourselves because of their being more enlightened than us. And within the bodhisattvas, the higher level of the bodhisattvas and 10 bhumis, tap, as they progress, the more and more enlightened they become, the more and more they are able to benefit more and more. The more and more they reduce their obscurations, the more and more they are able to help others. The more and more they are able to develop their inner realizations, inner spiritual qualities, the more and more they are able to help sentient beings. But still, even those bodhisattvas are, even though they can help much more than ourselves, and more high, the more you are able to help. But still, still even them have limitations. Even they have limitations because even them are not free from all the obscuration. Even though they are free from some obscuration, they are not free from all the obscurations. Even though they have achieved so many inner spiritual realizations and experiences, but they have not achieved highest level inner qualities, inner realizations, spiritual realizations. So therefore, still they can help more than us, but still they are also limited in that. And so then when you see that, then when you think of the Buddhas, the qualities of the Buddhas, what the Buddha means, what is the quality of the Buddha? Buddha are those who are free from not only obscuration or defilement, but who are free from all the obscuration, including the obscuration of the knowledge, the most subtle obscurations. And they are the one who have perfected all the positive qualities, who have completed and perfected all the positive qualities. There's no more positive qualities to be achieved, to perfect it, to complete it. There's no more obscuration to be eliminated, to abandon. And when you reach such state, then you can benefit sentient beings effortlessly. Even the bodhisattvas, they need the effort. Even the arhat, they need the effort to help. So when you achieve Buddhahood, fully enlightened, then you are able to help effortlessly, limitlessly, in this most skillful way. And by understanding, even the high bodhisattvas and arhat, they cannot read every sentient being's mind. They cannot read every sentient being's predispositions. But when you become enlightened, you are able to read all of that. The Buddha can read, the fully enlightened one can read every sentient being's predispositions. What imprint they have, what predisposition they have, what inclination, the interest they have, and what kind of mind they are able to, because they are able to read all of that, then they are able to help. They are able to help according to the need of those individuals. Perfectly what is the best for them. And from that way, then you are really able to help each and every sentient beings effortlessly, without any limitations, in a most skillful way, most skillful way. And that is if you read, of course, the story of Buddha Shakyamuni doesn't really give the complete, understanding the whole quality of all the Buddhas, because when Buddha came in this world, he was showing as an ordinary aspect, as a bodhisattva, and so again, even in that, you can see his method of leading or guiding the disciple or sentient being to the path, the right path, is incredible skillful means. One example of that, many things that you have heard about is this lady, Gotami, who has only child and she lost that child, and she was in denial. She was just, confused and overwhelmed by sorrow, and she kept on going every places and asking to help to bring her child back, and running, went to see so many different teachers at that time, requesting, crying, requesting to bring back her child back. And then they couldn't because they knew it was, and they said they cannot bring because seems like the child is already gone. But she wouldn't believe that. She wouldn't accept that. She wouldn't accept and she wouldn't believe that, And finally, someone says, go and see the Buddha. She went and to see the Buddha, and then she said, you are supposed to be the Buddha, and you are supposed to be the enlightenment. So help me to bring up my child. And Buddha said, I will help you if you can bring a sesame seed from one of the families from the village. But it had to be from a family that no one has died. First she thought it was easy. Everyone has sesame seed because that they use for their food. Every house has that. And she was excited and she went and asked, can I get some sesame seed? And the family said, yes, we can. But did someone die here? Yes. Someone says their partner, someone said their children, someone said their parents, grandparents. She went from house to house in a village. And finally, she realized. And accepted. Buddha didn't say anything. He didn't teach them, about impermanent, dead, or you should accept it, or you shouldn't accept it. Because she was not state to hear all these teachings. Her mind was in not that state, But the Buddha's skillful means with that, just going by, she understood that. She understood after going after so many families in the village, then she understood without saying one word. And she came back and just, by that time she has that realizations and accepted, and let it go. And of course she was still grieving and then she fall to the Buddha's feet and said, please accept me as your disciples. That is one example of how Buddha guides. That is skillful means, sometimes Buddha says some words, sometimes he doesn't say much, according to different sentient beings at different times. The skillful means that you need, and incredible skillful means with the right wisdom, by knowing their state of mind, and what's the best for them to guide in the right path, with what kind of means, sometimes for certain sentient beings, to guide in the right path, he talk about selflessness. And then to certain sentient beings who are not ready to hear the selflessness, and he taught as there is a self. And that is a skillful means when to lead to that path without scaring them. And with certain sentient beings, by staying in noble silence, neither saying there's self, neither saying there's no self. He responds, his approach or response differently according to different disciples, different sentient beings, because he knew each of them. For the one person, if he said there is no self, that person is going to fall into a stream of nihilisms, because he was not ripe into or not ready to hear because of so much of imprint from the past, not only from the past, but from what he had learned and what he believed. So those skillful kind of means, and there are so many examples like that, the way the Buddha guide, the way Buddha inspire, individuals on the right path, and so many of those Shariputra and Mongoliana Arhat, first they went to them and they couldn't help them. Even though they are, because they cannot see all of that. There is one example of elderly person in Tibetan, his name is Papa Lamchung, and also he has a brother, Papa Lamchen. Both of them become an Arya, later noble, highly realized beings. The brother Lamchen was very bright. He went to the monastery and he was very bright and very smart and bright, and so he was able to pick up and study and become very well known in his studies, practice all of that. And his other brother, Papa Lamchung, wanted to join the monasteries also later when he was a little bit older, much later. He went to the monastery to become a monk, and then went to Shariputra, and Shariputra said he doesn't have the karma to become a monk. Didn't accept, And of course, that is one of the things they do in the monastery. They check whether it's beneficial for that person to become a monk or not. Check their karma and everything's, Not everyone by becoming monk become beneficial for them, or by becoming nun, due to their different karma and all of that conditions, internal conditions. So that's what they check in a lot of time. And so he said there is no karma, and he was very disappointed, and because he really wanted, and very disappointed and crying, and then Buddha show up, suddenly Buddha show up. And so what happened, I have so much interest and I want to become monk. And Shariputra says, I don't have the karma to become a monk. And then Buddha said, oh, don't worry. Shariputra cannot see karma too far away. He can see up to certain previous life, but he cannot see infinite life of that being and all the karmas. Because Shariputra, even Arhat, is not free from all the obscuration. He still has the certain obscuration, even he doesn't have obscuration or defilement. And then Buddha said, oh, you have karma to be a monk. And he spoke about, in one of his life, there's simply two versions. One version is that as an ant on top of the gobar, on top of the gobar, a fly on top of the animal gobar. Yeah, you call gobar what? Gobar. Yeah. Not animal gobar, but like the poop. Oh. Dung. Okay. On top of the dung there is a fly, and then there was a rain, and because of rain, the rain carried that dung, and around one stupa. So that was, and then other versions, like there was a kind of pig or something that has been chased by the dog, and when it chased, it went around the stupas, So there is that two versions of that, either of them. But basically, because these are very subtle karma, very subtle, without intentions, without knowing its holy objects, anything, but just accidentally, you can say accidentally, maybe let's say, even by accidentally circumventing that, still it creates some positive karma, still some merit, because the power of the holy objects. And because such karma very subtle, is not such a, because it's by accident and with the holy object. So it's like someone like Shariputra couldn't see it, So Buddha was able to say that you have karma to be a monk, and so accepted, and he became a monk, And even in terms of training him, So first his brother was trying to teach him, his mind was so dull. His brother gave up after a few months trying, he said, I cannot help. I cannot help, And then he was sent to another teacher. Again, same thing. The other teacher tried to help him, taught him for many months, but his mind was so dull, he couldn't make progress. He was having a very difficult, make even very small progress in studying, learning, So again, he was so sad. He was so sad. Everyone give up, Everyone give up. Even his brother gave up because his mind was so um, dull in that way that no matter how much they tried, he couldn't get it, and he couldn't make progress. He was so sad and crying and feeling bad about himself, how bad I am, and all this, how. And then again, Buddha show up and asked what happened, and he explained what happened. Don't worry, I will take care of you. I will, I will take care of you. And then Buddha asked him to clean the monk's sandal, not shoes, but sandal. At that time, they had a sandal. Yeah. And then he asked them to clean the monk's sandal when they go in the. And then Buddha also asked the monks to give him the opportunity to clean the sandals. He need to do that. And then teach him, 2 words. Duibantimabang means abandoning or cleaning the stain and the dirt. Cleaning the dirt and cleaning the stain. Those 2 words teach him. And also ask the monk to help him to remind him that, because he forget even those 2 things, cleaning the dirt and cleaning the stain, because his mind was so dull. He couldn't, when he remember one, he forget the others. And so constantly, Buddha also told other monks to help him to do that. So of course, whenever monks helped him, and then slowly, Buddha told him to clean around the areas, where the monks are, monastery, temple, and then he started to clean, again, to recite those 2 things and ask the monk. And then, of course, eventually he was able to memorize, and he was just reciting that while he was cleaning, cleaning the dirt, cleaning the stain. Suddenly, one day, he has aha moment, enlightened moment. Before he was saying cleaning the dirt, he was talking about this dirt he's cleaning, stain. Suddenly, cleaning the dirt doesn't mean the external dirt. It means the dirt of attachment. It means the dirt of anger. It means the dirt of ignorance. Suddenly he started to have that kind of understanding, realizations. And then eventually he became slow. Then, he became also very learned and very highly Arya, noble beings, having direct realization and emptiness. So this is another skillful means, the way Buddha guides each of those different sentient beings individually. Some of the worst dull persons, where all others are great being, couldn't help him. Buddha found a way because he understood exactly what he needed in that time. You know, he needed to purify and accumulate some virtues so that his mind is ripened to understand those teachings and realizations. When your mind is not ripened, if your ground, if your earth is not, soil is not good, you can plant. No matter how much you plant, it dies. It dies because the soil is not good. You know, you plant, it die, you plant, you die, you plant, you die, and sometimes that is what it is. Sometimes some people have difficult to understand or have a realizations because the soil is not good. And so you need first, in such cases, you have to understand, oh, it's not the seed, it's the soil. So first I need to work on the soil. I need to, and that is what exactly Buddha knew with each of them. And for in this case, you know, he needed to have the better soil before the seed of learning, studying, and meditation can become. And so once he is done, then he is able to make those progress. So there are so many examples like that, how Buddha was so skillful in guiding different sentient beings. Angulimala, who killed 999 people. The way, again, the Buddha kind of brought him in the path and helped him to be on the path is another, skill means. Ajendra Satru, one of the prince or king who killed his father to take over the kingdom, and again, and later regretted and went into big depressions, and so bad that he couldn't function, couldn't take care of the kingdoms, and again, the way Buddha helped him to come out of that, and then again, guiding him in the path in such a skillful means. And those are such a, those are like that, the skillful means, that the Buddha has, which the Arhat and Bodhisattva doesn't have. Arhat, Shariputra, Mangalyana, there are Arhat, but still, as I mentioned, there are like those cases, and there are many cases where they couldn't help, even though they had such a. And so, therefore, when you understand, when we realize and understand that, then we think, to be the best help, benefit to each and every sentient beings, must achieve or attain fully awakened state, fully enlightened state, in order to be greatest help, benefit to each and every sentient beings. And when you have that wish to achieve that fully enlightenment, because you have understood what enlightenment is, and when you become that fully enlightenment, how much you can help, benefit without any, effortlessly, in a more skillful way, according to the need of each and every sentient beings, with the highest level of wisdom, then you have the strong wish to achieve that enlightenment. Because you have already strong wish, strong love and compassion. You have already developed strong love and compassion, wanting to help and benefit sentient beings, and especially with that special attitude you have, even making this strong responsibility to free them from suffering and cause of suffering, lead them to ultimate happiness. If you have all of that, but when you at this moment, the help I can bring is very limited. And then when you try to say, how can I be limitless benefit to limitless sentient beings? When you reflect that, then you see, if you can become a Buddha, then that is how you go, how you can do. You can become limitless benefit to limitless sentient beings. And when you have that understanding, the wish to achieve that enlightenment arise and grow very strongly, very strongly. And that is the Bodhicitta mind. That is the bodhisattva, the mind, the wish to achieve fully enlightenment or achieve fully enlightened or fully awakened state in order to free all sentient beings suffering, cause of suffering, lead them to fully enlightenment or to help and benefit. That is the seventh, the result, the bodhicitta mind. So that is why they call 7 point of cause and effect. Through this, you go through this point of meditation of 7 point, and first 6 any question.
Loving kindness meditations a few months ago, and it's really helped me a lot. And so I understand that. But when you say you start taking responsibility, see, what does that look like? I mean, how would you know by looking at me I was taking responsibility? What, like, John helps everybody around here. Is he taking responsibility for everybody? I don't know.
No. When you take responsibility, is cultivating that mind. Is not saying I'm going to take responsibility, I'm going to solve all your problem. It is saying it's not just I just wish you to be free from suffering, but I'm going to take responsibility to do that. And to do that, because I don't have all the skills and means to do that, therefore I need to achieve the enlightenment. So that drive you to become enlightenment. Is like a parent taking a responsibility to bring up their child, to give them the best education, but they know they don't have the resource to give them the best education at the moment. So then they work very hard to make the money. So that taking responsibility in your mind that I want to give the best education for my child, not only wishing them to have best education. You can wish with loving kindness, compassion. You can wish as a parent, I wish my children have the best educations. That is one level. Wishing truly, not just from your heart, really wishing they have the best education. Next level, even bigger than that, I'm going to actually take the responsibility for them to have the best education. But when even you have that taking responsibility in your mind that I will make sure that they have the best education. But at the moment you realize you don't have all the resources to give them the best educations. And so therefore it inspires you to make more money so that you can save resource to give them the best education. And same thing that with that responsibility, then just like that, the parent being inspired to work harder or other job to get the resource, same way then that inspire you to become work harder in our practice meditation to become fully enlightened so that we can help them. So that is what it is. Yeah.
So, when you talk about the Buddha, do you mean the Dalai Lama? Or when you talk, I don't know. I mean, I read, Herman Hesse's Siddhartha, but I don't know what you mean when you say Buddha.
Well, there is a historical Buddha, Siddhartha, who became a Buddha. That is the historical Buddha, And of course, there are people who believe Dalai Lama to be Buddha. Not everyone believe, but there are some people who believe He is the manifestation of Buddha, you know. And then there are other beings who believe that they are the manifestation of Buddha. But of course, there is a historical Buddha where all the Buddhists believe he is the Buddha, historically. But in Mahayana, in our understanding, there are countless Buddhas, infinite Buddha, just as there's infinite sentient beings, there's infinite Buddhas. And Buddha means when you are free from all your obscuration and when you achieve all your inner qualities, perfect and complete, you become Buddha. And you are the Buddha. You know, so it is inner qualities when you all the obscuration that we have that need to be cleared and abandoned. When we clear and abandon or destroy all the obscuration, and when we are able to achieve complete and perfect, all the positive qualities, the inner positive quality that we need to actualize. When someone whoever has done that, and that become a Buddha. That person is a Buddha, and we all have the potential to become a Buddha. Every sentient being has that same potential to be Buddha. And eventually they all will be Buddha because they have that potential. Yeah. Yes.
When you're
Joe.
talking about responsibility, when we came in, you probably saw a woman outside named Precious, who was evicted from the place she'd been staying this morning and had no place to go and was asking for help. And I had decided to take responsibility for that. But I realized I didn't have a clue even how to start, where to go, where to take her, where they could provide some temporary housing. I was clueless. And so although I wanted to take responsibility, we didn't even have the basic knowledge and how to do something that I assumed would be fairly simple. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that it was beyond me. So I was going to ask for your advice, those of us in the Gampa, but I don't have to worry about it because she's left.
Mhm.
But if she comes back, I don't know what I would do. Even though I want to be responsible.
Yeah, I don't know.
She can't go home with you.
Yeah, she can come with me in your house
Oh,
where you are going to host. Yes.
Do you have a certain feeling inside your body or inside your mind that, you know, that he understands? I mean, no talking or anything, but do you have a feeling of relief?
No, different people have different experience. Not everyone has the same experience. Whether it's enlightened or unenlightened, same. You know, even the worst person, different people. Let's take for the former president. Not everyone has the same experience. Some people have good experience being around him. Some people have a very negative experience being around him. Even from outside, we look, some people are very much, you know, attracted by him. Some people are really revolted by him. And same thing with someone like Dalai Lama. Of course, there are revulsions, you know, but different people have different experience, you know. Of course, there's you hear people. Most time, people feel overwhelmed, you know, peace, compassion, you know. But I think, you know, not everyone has the same experience. You know, it is not only the being, also it also depends on your state of mind, your obscuration, your karmas, your perceptions. So, you know, it's not just one condition, many conditions. And it's same with even with the Buddha, historical Buddha Shakyamuni, you know. Not everyone who came to see him have the same, exactly same experience, you know. Yeah. So Does anyone has? Otherwise, we'll do the dedication prayer.
Yeah, we have to.
So. This is for the new month of October. Obstacles. All the people right now who are in the war zones, like Israel, Palestine, Russia, and Ukraine. Who have lost everything. Anybody else with obstacles?
I'd like to add the name Ray,
Ray?
please. And the name Matt. And the name Margaret.
Margaret?
Thank you.
And under illness, Rolf? Anybody else?
Still Patty and Bill,
Pardon?
Patty and Bill.
Patty and Bill.
And Janet?
Janet?
Mhm.
And under death, all the people who have died because of hurricanes and in the wars.
I'd like to add all the death row prisoners that were legally murdered this week by various states. Yeah, there are about 8 or 9 men they voluntarily just killed.
I'd like to add someone under.
There are obstacles, illness and death.
Obstacles, I would like to add Sylvie.
Who?
Sylvie.
Sylvie?
Sylvie.
I'd like to add 2 obstacles myself. I'm Mary Jo. And on the chat, they're in the death area, death category, to please add River the cat and Enzo the dog. And I did also see a skunk on the road that was dead. Thank you.
Yeah, in obstacle, you can add all the people who have been affected by the flood and everything. So I think
Hurricane. Mhm.
hurricane, and also, not only this hurricane, flood in India, Nepal.
Yes. And I would like to add people that are, I don't know the word, struggling with political affiliations that are creating difficult states of mind.
Okay. So the dedications.
Mm.
Yawadi-nyuduta lama sangye duryune do-chikang Nam kyo sen chondri se ma je fan ke kyo che yen va nyam ba me ma le a long life, the wish granting, wish fulfilling joy, source of every single benefit and happiness is to the incomparable kindness of this is may all your holy wishes is always fulfilled. Then the Lama Sovereign wishes to return. Fearless teacher and assembly of children of victorious ones, Sabaka is the Buddhas, victorious Lord and Father and Son, and all the leaders master, all the object of the infinite land, Please bestow the virtues and goodness from this prayer here and now, holding and spreading in these precious and complete teachings through explanation and practice. You hold the patience that never discourage, incomparable, venerable, and make this
request.
while starting single pointedly for the sake of the correct one teaching, the soul gateway through which all benefit and happiness emerge, and for the mother living, who suddenly departed to peace, what a great loss. Nevertheless, through the receiving of the blessings of ocean of Tereyo, and the great method of Bodhisattva of children of Victoria, may the soul reincarnation strictly be developed. Then was available. Venerable one, to you whose kindness consists of all the comforters for those wanderers,
in far off places.
especially the West, mindful of the loving
Your loving concern for us.
intention of descending again into a family of far distant land. We make this express for Lama. Please
live long.
Thank you very much, everyone. Good night, Angel. Good night. Good night. Thank you.
Good night, Geshe-la. Thank you.
Good night. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.